Hi, and welcome back to another free English lesson brought to you by Skype English School, and we're continuing our focus on interview preparation. This is our third lesson in the series, and today we're going to be focusing particularly on work experience related interview questions and possible answers that you can use. Questions related to work. Do you like to work by yourself or with others? What do you like to do when you are not in the office? How do you feel about overtime? Will working on weekends be a problem? Are you willing to relocate? May I contact your current employer? Do you like to work by yourself or with others? Even if you have a strong preference to work alone or with others, the best answer is to say both. Even if a job is mostly about working alone, there might be some teamwork involved. Most employers want someone who can work well in a team and work well alone. That's a tough question. I like the combination of the two. It's great working in teams while getting and sharing ideas with others, but it's also nice to sit at your desk and work hard productively. I like to do both, so it's hard to choose one over the other. If they insist on choosing one, then choose the one that is relevant to the job that you are interviewing for. Make sure you pause a little before saying so. If I had to choose one, then I'd probably choose to work alone. What do you like to do when you're not in the office? This is another question where they want to find out about some of your hobbies. Basically, you can answer this question in a similar way to how you would answer what are your hobbies. When I'm not in the office, I like to play golf, read magazines, and spend time with my wife. Well, I like the piano, so I have piano lessons on a weekly basis. I also like gardening, so I work on my yard a lot. But if I want to relax, I like to watch videos at night. Something short and simple is the best answer. No need to elaborate on why. How do you feel about overtime? If this is an hourly job, then pay is given to employees working extra hours. If it is a salary position, most of the time they will not ask this question because they expect you to work overtime. But expect this position to have some overtime requirements if the interviewer is asking this question. I don't mind working overtime at all. I know during busy times people are expected to work more, and I'm flexible with my hours, so I won't have a problem. Will working on weekends be a problem? If the interviewer is asking this question, then this position is probably going to require some weekend work. Maybe it's not a lot, but they want to make sure that if something goes wrong and more work is required, you will be able to work on weekends. I recommend answering by saying it will not be a problem. If you want to find out how often you will have to work weekends, you can ask it after answering the question. It shouldn't be a problem at all. I frequently worked on my weekends in my other position, especially during tax season. How often is weekend work required here on average? This answer is stating that it is no problem. It also supports the answer by saying I have worked on weekends in my previous group, and the last sentence is an example of how you can ask them about weekend work. Are you willing to relocate? This is a tough question because relocating means moving to a completely new area. It might be okay to answer with a no, but I would answer with a maybe. Here is an example. I guess it would depend on the location and the pay. If everything is the same, I would rather stay here because this is where I grew up, but I would be willing to consider it. This answer is not saying yes or no. This is saying maybe in a polite way. Don't answer with a direct maybe, that is bad. Instead, use something similar to my example. If you are willing to relocate, it is an easy answer. A simple yes. I'm always looking forward to new challenges, and new locations would provide that. I love change, and I'd definitely be willing to relocate. May I contact your current employer? This all depends on if your current employer knows that you are searching for another job. If you are not employed, they might ask if they can contact your former employer. Regardless, the best answer is to say yes. If not, they will think you have something to hide. Yes. Do you have their contact information? And that just about wraps it up for our lesson today on work-related interview questions. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and you'll join us again soon for more interview techniques and tips.